All right, I'm just noticing a few interesting things with Tommy, and they're coming back down to basic groundwork. When I put him under pressure, you'll notice as he's going around me, he's really walking into my space and dropping his shoulder, basically, in on top of me. Now, there's a few things I can do, and I'm also noticing he's quite stiff to the left. So these little tiny details I'm picking up from just doing a simple exercise like this. Well, I say simple, it's very important, but what you guys have to be aware, you have to be looking for these details. When I do this, does he feel the same this side as he does the other side? And my impression is not. This side is much softer. So that is something that I need to work on in terms of getting him less spooky. If your horse is unbalanced or one-sided, you will always find your horse has a problem somewhere with something. So bear that in mind. Okay, I'm also noticing that when he gets scared, he runs with his nose out of the circle. He runs with his nose out of the circle and into me a little bit. So he's doing this over the top of me. Now that's basic ground handling, and that's something that needs to be corrected as well. So, I mean, we can have a little look at that in just a second. Now I'm thinking, and I'm sure you guys are, if Tommy reacts like this every time, I'm sorry, Kim, did you tell that Tommy had a pretty bad experience? She's busy talking. Kim told me that Tommy here had a pretty bad experience when he was, and got a real fright about things. And when you get a horse that's had that bad experience, that memory, whenever they're under pressure, that memory comes back. And this memory could be driving young Tommy here, okay? Because most horses that get to this state will work out. He's waving the bag. If I stop, I get a pat and I get a rest, okay? And then pretty soon I'll wave the bag. They'll go, I know this drill. If I stop, I get a pat, I get a rest. But with Tommy here, I've done it 2 or 3 times now, and he's still working on it. So that tells me straight away, Tommy is much more a remedial horse than you think, because there's a memory driving him to do this. And this is something that I'm, as a trainer, always looking for. Is it memory, or does my horse really not know? Horses are definitely not silly animals. If I did this with a horse that was untouched, chances are, do it 2 or 3 times and that horse will stand. If you had seen my other demos, you would have seen a little mare that was more than happy with the bag. Well, she hadn't seen one before, so I taught her how to react. Whereas Tommy here is very reactive with things he doesn't know, and it tells me there's a little memory. So we have to change that memory, and that's going to take either time. Well, that's what it is going to take. It's going to take time and redressing the balance. Now, what I might do is I've just asked Tommy to go. I'm just going to get him to try and get his back legs to move out away from me. So his head faces up to me a little bit. There goes his back legs a little bit. That was good, because I want to get his eyes on me. If his eyes are not on me, where are they? They're on that scary object somewhere else. I need him. There goes his back legs. On to me. Good boy. Okay, go back to the basics. Notice I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing all the time. Just saying, Tommy, look, see, I'm pulling there. He's done this a lot of times now. He should know where to go, but he's going, no, I can't give in to this. I have to survive. You've got that dreaded plastic bag. Okay, work along again. All right. Now, I'm probably, in terms of a demonstration, because we have limited time, and I want to impart as much knowledge onto you guys as I can, I'll just get him to step over a little bit and get him to face me up and say, look, mate, here I am. I will look after you. That's what I'm trying to say. Even in the face of pressure, in the face of danger, here I am. I'll look after you, mate. And I've got to keep doing this till he makes that decision. And I'd like to keep going all day till I got that, or to the point that I got that. But I want to show you some more tips when you're riding. having not got quite to the bottom of this, that means I know the next stage probably won't be as good as they could be. But you'll get the tools and the tips, and you just need to make sure as you guys go along that you get the bottom stage right, the next stage right, and build up. Okay, I'll give him one more go this way. There he goes. Okay, so this is an important stage for Tommy. And this would be something that I would be working on over the next few days. Okay, so let's get Tommy just to kick his back end out. See him falling on top of me. I'll make it a little bit more awkward for him to fall on top of me. When he does the right thing, I'll stop doing this.
And just say again what the right thing is, Jason. What is it you're looking for?
I just want him to step his back legs away and just relax. That's my goal, and I've got to keep focused on that because Tommy is really rigid this side. There, he's softened up a little bit. I just want his back legs to step over, and I'm concentrating on this. So I've sort of gone back a little step. There they go. They've stepped over. There's not much back either. Okay, so there's a lot of groundwork that can be done to help with a spooky object. Can you see that, Kim? Okay, this exercise is really going to help Tommy. All right. So we'll look at that a little bit more another time maybe. But moving on, and guys, remember, this is a demonstration. I'd love to get it right first time. I didn't know how this horse is going to react. But can everybody see that if you keep doing this, you say calm, consistent, and remember what you're trying to achieve, you will get your horse there. And when you get them there, they'll be like, oh, thank you. You're going to look after me. And when you get that, then you can start to take your horses places, and they're not going to worry so much about things.
So Jason, we've got another 10 minutes or so to go, and I guess it would be interesting to get from Kim's perspective. You mentioned that he had obviously had a bad experience. Kim, obviously you had quite a bad experience as well in the accident. What do you notice in terms of confidence? What does it maybe stop you or perhaps even make you do differently?
I suppose the main thing is he doesn't trust me to keep him safe, and I don't trust myself to keep him safe. And I think that's it. In a nutshell.
Absolutely. So I'm wondering if there are a few things that you've heard today, and I know we keep using the tagline around being consistent, decisive and calm as well, and recognizing where that might fit in. And also some of the small steps as well. I always fascinated watching Jason, just recognizing the small progress. It's not necessarily about progress made on the horse in obvious ways which we might and certainly I would think progress is, but noticing just little things, maybe in the stable, that may allow that progression to take place in an easier way without necessarily having to undermine the confidence so much of the rider. So I'm going to say thank you very much to Kim again. Again, we won't applause or anything, as much as we appreciate you coming down here and talking. Thank you very much, Kim.
Okay, so we need to get to the bottom of the work on the ground. Obviously, it's going to take Tommy here because of his memories, or what I believe are his memories. It's taken a little longer than the time we have available. But it's something that if he was at my yard or for Kim to really look at, getting him to trust her or getting him to trust me. But moving swiftly on, when you're riding, how many of you go into the arena and go, right, where's the scariest thing in this arena? There it is. And then you ride straight at it. How many of you do that? Hands up, let's have a bit of a look around.
They're not all going to admit it.
Not many, all pretty good. Well, for me, that would be the wrong thing because you're starting to focus on the wrong idea. You're starting to focus on the scary object, and so is the horse. So when you come into the arena, the first thing you want to do is find a place where your horse is actually comfortable. I'm letting Tommy walk around here, and I'm just sort of gauging where he's comfortable. And I'm watching his ears. When I got on him, he looked straight at those banners. I'm very aware of that. Are you guys aware of those little details? Okay, I'll leave that question with you. So when I find a place that I think Tommy is happy with, now I want to check that he's listening. Now I do it. You can do this in a number of ways. It's up to you guys how you do it. I'll show you how I do it. Okay, I'll ride along in his more comfortable place. I'll say, move forward, Tommy. Now slow down, Tommy. That was okay, Tommy, but you weren't really listening. So I'm going to just simply change direction. Trot down here. I'm going to sit. There's my cue for Tommy to slow down. Tommy goes, no. Okay, I'm going this way. And I'm just bending Tommy off in another direction. Simple, but very effective. And it also teaches your horse to bend. Now, when your horse bends, I'll tell you what you don't see very often, is a horse with a head up in the air, off to the side like that. You very rarely see that, because when a horse comes off to the side, they will always lower, because they get tired much quicker. They're using smaller muscles to do that, and those muscles can't hold the weight of his head, so he'll drop down. So that's why I use bend to slow him down rather than a straight line halt. So I'll carry on doing this until I sit and Tommy responds. Could you guys see Tommy respond when I sat down? Did anyone see Tommy respond? Yes or no? Oh, hello. Got some friends. Did anyone see? Come on, give us a yes or a no. No, you didn't see Tommy respond, did you? Let's try that again. Watch again. Does Tommy respond? Okay. Sit. No response. Change direction. How was Tommy's control when I changed direction? Was it good or bad? If a horse, when you change direction, goes like this, it's not good. It's not a good look. It's not pretty, and it's not what we want to see. We want to say, yeah, okay, I can do that. And it's not difficult for Tommy to do, is it? I'm sitting. Tommy, I'm going to ask you to do something. Be prepared. That was a little bit better. At least he didn't throw his head around. That's brilliant. That's what I'm looking for. Let's go again. So I will do this exercise till I sit and Tommy responds. And there's that. Remember how I said before when I was doing the bag, he was a little difficult, he was a little stiffer to the left? Well, now you can see it, can't you? So this is something I need to balance or potentially look at physically. These are the things going through my mind. All right, so I've got 3 minutes left, and a lot more to tell you, but sit. There, that was a little better. Did everyone notice that? The reason Tommy slowed down is because he was thinking, what's this guy going to ask me to do? It was left last time, it was right the time before. I better slow down and see what he wants. Now, if my horse is in that mindset, then they're with me. They're not looking to go out that door. They're not looking to spook at something. They're here, and this is where I want them. Once I get them in this place, then I can start approaching scary objects. But until I get there, there is no point going to try and face a fear because I don't have the control. Control is so important before you do this. Now, I'm just about out of time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really sorry. I'm just quickly going to show you another really useful tool which I use all the time. And that is basically a figure of 8. So let's say Tommy was here and took a fright. I'll tell you what we'll do. If you guys just clap quickly. Okay, that'll do. Now, Tommy had a big reaction there. And what did I do? Here's my figure of 8. Okay, did I pull and panic? Okay, there's my figure of 8. Now, I'm turning him. Which way am I turning him in my figure of 8? Towards you. Face your fears, Tommy. Look, it's all right. Am I panicking? Am I saying, go forward, Tommy, do this, do that? Am I doing anything? No, okay, let's clap again. That'll do. There they are. That'll do. Thank you. Okay, and then I'll bring him back round again. Okay, now if Tommy wants to get quicker, that's his decision. I'm not doing anything. He can go forward quicker if he wants to, but he's going to go the same thing as with the bag. He's going to go round and round, and I'm getting rid of adrenaline. Adrenaline is what causes horses to spook. And also, am I getting closer to you guys? Yes. If I was to turn away, would I be getting closer to my fears? No. And a horse tells you, if we just clap again, just clap one more time. Okay, that's not too bad. But here is Tommy's comfort line. Inside that, Tommy's scared. The other side of that, not so bothered. And you need to establish, as riders and trainers, you need to establish that comfort line and work from that. Don't go in there inside their comfort line, otherwise you're going to have too much to deal with. Start in a progressive manner. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all the tips I can get away with today. Just hang on 1 second before we finish. I think Charlie's got a couple of things to say.
So thanks there, Jason. Just while Jason jumps off, I hope that's been interesting for you, and thanks again for Kim. We really do appreciate you coming down and just talking to us naturally. I hope you got quite a bit from that.
The key to this whole thing, guys, is to create a balance between yourself and your horse. To create this balance, it is so important that you get your horse and yourself to face your fears, to get to that rational, responsive state. It's so important. And as you've seen demonstrated, I haven't seen Tommy ever before, and it's thanks to your horse for finding Kim to give me the horse. Thank you. Okay? It's so important to get to that state. So just remember that as a parting comment.
And if you're interested in more information from the rider's perspective, from the horse's perspective, certainly from the rider's perspective, I've got some presentations coming up. My assistant down there is giving out some leaflets. I know 222 is Jason's stand. You can go and chat to him before the day's up as well. And Jason, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything else about that.
Yeah, no, we've got some bits and pieces for you. If you've seen anything here, obviously there's a stock saddles and all sorts of interesting things that we have. Come along and see us. If you want some advice or some help, I'm there. I can talk to only one person at a time, though. But I'm happy to help. I hope you got some good ideas. And remember, it's not an exact science. These things, as you've seen with the bag, do take time. But it's very important that you get those points right. If you can get that point right, the next point is going to come a lot easier. So I'm quite happy with what I've done with Tommy today because I know I have a plan for my next training sessions. And that's key, progression. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.